What's up, pirates? Phoenix here with my blue Emporio Ivankov deck profile. Gaze into the eyes of this giant head. His effect lets you draw 2 cards at the end of your turn if you have 0 cards in your hand, and that will come up a lot because you will be trashing a lot of cards from your hand and using counters as much as possible. And in this deck, you want to go first, and I'll explain why in a bit. So first, I'm playing 3 Nukama land. It lets you draw 1 and trash 1, so it lets you fix up whatever's in your hand. And then you can also trash 3 mark cards if you want to use your leader's effect. Next, I'm playing 4 Buggies. He lets you add an impel down card from the top 5 of your deck, place the rest at the bottom. He lets you search your main cards, which I will show in a second. The next card I'm playing is 4 Piranhas. She sets up the top of your 5 top cards of your deck. Or you can put them at the bottom if you don't like what you see at all. Same as this Doflamingo, which I'm playing 4 of, but he is a 3-cost blocker with 4,000 power. And then next is the cards you want to see early game, because when you're going first, on turn 4, you want to be playing this card, Emporio Ivankov. 7 cost for 7,000 power. On play, you draw so you have 3 cards, and then you can play an impel down blue card with a cost of 6 or less from your hand. And that card is going to want to be either the 6 cost Luffy or the 5 cost Crocodile. The 6 cost Luffy, on play or when attacking, you can trash 2 cards from your hand, and then it returns a 4 cost character to your opponent's hand, and then he gets double attack. So with his first effect of bouncing cards, the double attack is most likely going to go through that turn. The next cards you can play using Ivankov effects is the blockers, Mr. 3, a 4 cost for 5,000 power. At the end of your turn, if he's rested, you can trash a card from your hand and set him as active so he can be a blocker once again. And the next card is the Inazuma. I'm playing 2 of this. 4 cost for 5,000 power. If you have 1 or less cards in your hand, this character gains 2,000 power. So if you want to counter while you have this as a blocker, you just use that last counter in your hand, and then when you have 1 or less in your hand, he'll be at 7,000, and most people don't see that coming. Next in line, I'm going to go through the 2k counters. We'll start with Mr. 2. His effect is irrelevant, but he is an impel down character which Buggy can search, so he's always good to have in your hand if you will need to protect your life or your other characters. Next 2k counter is Alvida. She's just a 2k counter. I don't care about her effect, and neither should you. Next in line is the Mihawk 2k counter. He actually has a pretty good effect if you want to start fixing your hand. He draws 2, discards 2 when attacking if he's holding a Dawn. But he does cost 4, so I don't want to play too much of him if I have to. Next I'm playing just 2 1-cost blockers, the Trafalgar Law. If you have nothing else to play, I guess play this from your hand so you're not vulnerable to every attack from your opponent. Now for the next boss cards you want to be playing, you could play either 3 Mihawk or 3 Doflamingo. I'm playing 2 Doflamingo and 2 Mihawk. They both pretty much get rid of a 7-cost character from the board. Mihawk places it at the bottom of the deck. The Doflamingo will put it to your opponent's hand. Mihawk is much stronger, so if you have the spare Dawn for that turn, or if you have nothing else to play, you should just play him so you have a big attack the next turn. Next, the event cards. I'm playing the 0-cost Gum Gum Rain. You trash another card from your hand, and then your leader or character gains 3,000 power during this turn. So if you have no active Dawn, since this costs 0, your opponent is most likely never going to see this coming. And the next card I'm playing is the Arabesque Fist. It has the same effect as Luffy. Return a character with a cost of 4 or less to the owner's hand, and the trigger is the same as the main effect. This helps you out with Luffy when you want to go get that double attack to go through. So your opponent will be taking more damage faster. So yeah, that's the deck profile. I'll make it look cleaner so you guys can get a better look at it.
I said yeehaw!
Alright guys, so this is the full deck profile. This card in the glare is Mr. 2. So some things you should know about this deck is that the Piranha and the Flamingo set up either your turn or your next 2 turns, because with the leader, if you have no cards in your hand, you're going to be drawing the next 2 cards anyways, so you got to keep in mind how you're ordering your cards. And that also affects your new comma land, because that lets you draw 1 and trash 1. Another important thing you should know is with the Luffy, since he bounces a 4-cost character, it doesn't say it has to be one of your opponent's cards. So if they don't have anything worth bouncing back, you could just bounce back your own Buggy to recycle, or your Piranha. And another good combo is that if you have 1 card in your hand and you have Mr. 3 on the field and he attacked while rested, you just trash that last card, he becomes active, and then with the leader, you get to draw 2 cards. So that really helps you out in the games. Another card to consider if you don't want to play maybe the Laws, you can play the Deathwing. Its counter isn't too good because it costs 3, but its trigger is pretty much a Doflamingo for free, but it's a gamble, so I wouldn't play it. Well, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching.